Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us across the globe. Also depending on what time you get to see this video. It's another week and this is a Monday. So you know what that means? Yes, Parenthood 101 Mondays. And today, asanteni sana by the way to the new subscribers. You guys, you know, we love you so much. And those guys that have not subscribed, sijui mnangoja nini, ni sawa, I'll still remind you, please kindly subscribe. And of course, the notification gang. New Ascendo, Wale. Thank you so much for being here. Please kindly on the comment section, tell me where you're watching us from. And I'd love, of course, to interact with all of you. Now today, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I saw your comment section and someone, not even one person, a couple of people asked me to talk about family planning. And today, on the show, we have a clinician. Well, bado Ruby ajarudi, but before arudi, kazi lazima ifanywe. So let me welcome my friend here, Salome Ndeto.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Salome Ndeto, a cardiac clinician, and happy to be here that we are able to discuss family planning.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Now, what is family planning, you may ask? If you don't know what family planning is, it's basically just planning for the number of kids that you want and also how long you want to space them apart. Okay? So let's talk about the family planning methods, and that's where we have Ms. Ndeto here.
Okay, so when it comes to family planning, it's just like what you have explained. It is basically spacing your children and at the same time trying as much as possible to prevent a lady from getting unplanned pregnancy. We prefer talking about unplanned as compared to saying unwanted, because as we all know, it's always a personal decision about getting children. So when it comes to family planning, we have got two major classes. We classify either hormonal or non-hormonal. At the same time, we can classify as major or minors in terms of short terms and long terms. So basically, those are the classifications of family planning. So when it comes to the hormonals, we'll just start with the basics. We have the oral pills. We call them daily pills. It's a day-to-day pill, which someone is supposed to take every single day around the clock. And ideally, the rules and terms when it comes to that is that you're supposed to be taking it at a particular time, because it has got the two hormones. We have the progesterone and the estrogens. And if you're supposed to be taking them, you need to be taking, if it's 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. If it's 8 o'clock, so we want you to be able to top up at 24 hours, the same time each and every single day. So the other method when it comes to hormonal is that we have got the 3 months injection, commonly referred to as Depo, and actually in the market currently we are having subcutaneous one, which is still working the same as the 3 months. So when it comes to 3 months, basically it is a one hormonal type of family planning. It is progesterone, and in that case, it tends to prevent someone from getting ovulation. So again, we top it up every 3 months. And then also we have got the 3 years, at the same time the 5 years, so the implanons. So implanons, again, type of hormonal, takes 5 years. It's normally inserted just under the skin on our arm up here. And then again, we have got now the non-hormonals, which the commonest is actually condoms. Now that is, again, we have the female condoms, which are not that, they're not that common in our society currently, but also we have got the male condoms. And at the same time, we have got now the IUCDs. Now the IUCDs, people refer to them as cooperative. They are long-term, at the same time, they are non-hormonal, and they're actually advocated for people who have chronic illnesses, like let's say someone who has got hypertension. Definitely we are not going to encourage them to be using the hormonals because it might interfere with the treatment and also with the BP levels. Initially we used to have the Jadel, which goes for 5 years. Again, it's hormonal, but at least the government is trying to phase it out.
Why?
So we have because of the side effects, they tended to be a bit slightly higher, on the higher note. So we are currently having the Implanon, a very easy type of family planning in terms of even inserting. In 5 minutes, someone actually has already inserted it, because we normally do it just here under the skin. It's able to last 3 years. So the do's and the don'ts is that ideally when someone is coming for the insertion, they need to be on their menses. Why they need to be on their menses is because we want to be very sure that they are not pregnant. Because unfortunately we have had those episodes that someone comes, they want family planning, they have not done any pregnancy test, or they are just on that window period, and we give them a family planning method only to realize that actually they were pregnant. So we always advocate for someone to come when they are on their menses, because we are very certain that someone is not pregnant. Or if they have done a pregnancy test and they're exactly sure, 100% certain that they are not pregnant, then we go ahead and do it. But in our government facilities, you must be on your menses.
Yeah.
Now, the other type of family planning that is common in our society, it's the IUCD. Now, when it comes to the IUCD, we have got two types. We have the copper T, which is very common, and at the same time we have the Mirena. Now the Mirena tends to have some bit of hormone, so it's not that common with us. So we normally have now the IUCD, which is inserted in our vagina, and it tends to act as a barrier to prevent the ovum from being fertilized by a sperm. And it can last you 5 to 10 years. The only thing about the IUCD is that we tell our ladies they have to be very careful when it comes to abnormal vaginal discharges. So in case someone has an IUCD, they have a UTI, that is a urinary tract infection, or they're having these abnormal discharges, you need to go to the hospital. And the first thing you need to tell your healthcare provider is that I have an IUCD.
Okay.
Because when you have those vaginal discharges, you tend to get pelvic inflammatory diseases. And it's a very nasty disease, because in terms of signs and symptoms, it tends to be a bit severe. So we always advise, if you have an abnormal discharge, you're not sure about it, just come to the facility. And ideally, the right time to insert an IUCD is when someone is on their menses, because the cervix is actually open, and at the same time the uterus has actually relaxed. So it is not contracted. So it will be very seamless, it will be very less painful, just some slight discomfort. And then now after 1 month you need to come back for a checkup, so that you're able to see whether it was well inserted, at the same time to be sure that everything is fine. Because remember, it's something foreign to your body, so at times our bodies tend to reject them. So after your first menses, you need to come back to the healthcare, to the facility, so that at least we do a checkup.
Yeah, before we go to the next one, kindly let me just ask this question, because there's a friend of mine that is allergic to copper metals, and she was advised against using the normal copper tea.
Yes.
I don't know what you use instead of that.
Now in such a case we can just use the Mirena,
Okay.
but also we have some companies which are coming up with just a plastic IUCD. Yes. So if she's actually allergic to that, let's go back to the Mirena one, because it doesn't have any copper in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is the worst case scenario should anyone have, maybe they are hypertensive and they've already inserted this thing, they probably didn't know. So here's a case scenario where this person didn't know akona hypertension, and then later akonayo already kwa body, later ambiwe uko hypertensive. What is the worst thing looking like? Okay,
first it will depend with what type of a planning method. Like let's say if it's a Depo-Vera, definitely we just have to monitor the blood pressure, because it is an intramuscular injection. There's nothing much we can do about it. But when you come to a healthcare facility, we normally do vitals, and the first vital we have to do is your blood pressure, because some of us, our blood pressures are high but we don't know. So you see that one, we'll have to check your high blood, whether your blood pressure is high, and at the same time also we have to check your weight, because remember, with the hormonal types of family planning, we tend to increase weight. So we need to monitor. If someone is increasing weight abnormally, then definitely we are going to say that that type of family planning, it's not suitable for them.
Yes.
So if they were inserted maybe, okay, when it comes to an IUCD, there's no problem with if someone has a chronic illness.
Okay.
But of course, if it's an implant, definitely we will have to remove it.
Yeah.
Because normally what happens, it tends to increase the blood pressure. So if it's an implant, we just remove it and we switch to something else.
Something else that works.
Yes, true.
But then there's someone has asked me to ask this question. So I'm asking for them. They say that there are sexual styles that you can't do when you have IUD.
Yeah,
yes,
true.
so kuna zile styles zenye ukweli. Is it just a story on the streets ama ni kitu ya ukweli?
It is true, because an IUCD, remember, it's going to be inserted in your uterus. So if you are going to have those extreme type of, styles, definitely it's going to dislodge.
Yeah.
So once it dislodges, it is going to be ineffective, because we have had, I think, 2% of women who are on IUCD, they are those who tend to conceive. So again, if you conceive, you have to be followed by the gyna, and it has to be under close monitoration, so that we are able to do scans to see whether the IUCD is actually affecting the fetus. In most cases, they tend not to affect a fetus. So we just need to do close monitoration. We do a lot of ultrasounds, so that by the time you're fully term, we are sure that the baby is safe. So it's true, those styles, we just need to be careful.
And then another one said that when they got pregnant when they had it, and mtoto akitoka, you see it's the head first, right? Alitoka ikiwa hapo kwa utosi. I don't know if it's a true story.
It could be true.
Oh yeah?
It could be true, but yes, we have had those incidences where a woman delivers and we find an IUCD in the placenta.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why we were saying it's something plastic, so it's very safe. You just need to be very careful. And the only problem and challenge we have is that people don't come for checkups.
Yes.
Like for the IUCD, you need to come for a checkup. We have to do the first 1 month checkup, because we need to see whether it is well placed. And also, we tend to tell our ladies not to use the tampons if you have an IUCD. Because again, remember, a tampon you're going to insert inside there, and you have an IUCD there. So as you're pulling out your tampon, or as you go to change your tampon, you might pull out the IUCD. So we always advise them just to use the normal sanitary towels.
Yes.
And also you need to check your pad, because remember, an IUCD is something very tiny. So it might come out and you don't know. So every time you change your pad, you have to check it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. So we are done with the nanomolon and the hormonal. Now let's talk about the irreversible techniques.
So we have got the non-hormonals. Of course, one of the non-hormonals is the condoms, as we have talked about it. And then we have what you're talking about, like the permanent ones. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, the irreversible ones. So when it comes to the ladies, we have bilateral tubule ligation. Basically, we are trying to close up the both fallopian tubes on your right and also on your left. It is mostly encouraged when someone is done with conceiving or having babies, and they're also not doing so well with the other types of family planning methods, like let's say they're hypertensive, or at the same time they're having issues with the copper T's. So definitely we encourage them. It's fine if you're sure, you're certain you don't want more kids, well and good, you can just do a BTL. And then when it comes to our men, we have vasectomy. Unfortunately, it's not common in our African setup, but now it's the male family planning, whereby we are just going to block the tubes, and hence they won't be able to ejaculate.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, wow. But why is it not very common? Is it because our African men are so inclined on being so ndume? They don't want to do it?
From the word go, we have not had these conversations with our men. So even when it comes to family planning, most of our women are not even accompanied by their partners to come for those services. So again, vasectomy, most of our men don't want it. They don't even want to talk about it. They don't want even to listen.
They feel like that's the job of a woman, to plan the family.
Exactly. And that's why we always encourage our people, especially in today's life, family planning should be a two-way conversation. That if someone is in a stable relationship, and the reason why we are saying stable is because all the family planning methods, apart from condoms, they don't protect you from STIs.
Yes.
And the worst STIs we all know, it's HIV. So if you're in a stable relationship, that is one partner who is faithful, definitely you need a family planning method. And at the same time, if a man is able to initiate it in their relationship, why not? And also for the ladies, it's always good you initiate the conversation, because to be honest, condoms are not effective.
Yes.
They are just used the first time, the second time, the third time, it has just disappeared. So it's always good when you initiate those conversations, and also for your peace of mind, because we have had those incidences of ladies coming for abortions, you know, and remember, abortions are not legal in Kenya.
Yes.
And number two, why should you go into that road, and yet there are many ways of planning? And also, I don't think someone will be affected by all the methods. Yes.
So, but let's talk about the conversation around family planning. I can imagine telling my husband, Saniaje, can we do this permanent one? If someone ever came to you and they have one child only, and they told you that, me, I'm done, I just want this one child, I want the tubal ligation, would you recommend?
Yes, I would, because it's a permanent decision. Yes, and at the same time, they've already thought about it. So what definitely we'll just take them through the process.
Yes.
So that they're able to make an informed decision.
Without the husband, or you're going to insist that the partner be there? Because I can imagine a case scenario where the husband will come later and they're like, probably want to sue the hospital.
It will depend. Actually, it's going to depend on the client.
Okay.
Because remember, it's a personal decision.
All right.
So if the lady is not comfortable with the husband being there, and also remember, for every procedure, you have to sign a consent.
Okay.
So it's not your partner who is going to sign it for you. So if they're comfortable, their partner to be there, why not? But if they don't want, it is their decision. We just do the normal procedures, sign consent, explain the procedure to the patient, and now they're able to make an informed decision.
Yes.
Of what exactly they want.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am a Catholic, and there have been conversations around family planning, and the Catholic is always not mincing their words when it comes to family planning. What's your take on that?
I'm also a Catholic.
Okay.
The thing is, you don't want family planning, and at the same time, you don't want children, to bring up children who you're not able to support fully, or you're not able to give them what they want in this life.
Yeah.
So why not family planning? What's the problem with family planning?
Yes.
Because we need to remove this notion of family planning is wrong.
Yeah.
It's not a taboo. So long as you are grown up, 18 years and above, of sound mind,
Yeah.
and people are sexually active.
Yeah.
They are sexually active. And when it comes to counting days, it is very tricky. Because remember, we have people who have got short cycles. Those are people who are having a 21 days cycle. We have got people who have a long cycle. Those are the people who are having a 35 days cycle. So it tends to be very difficult to know when you're not on that window period of getting pregnant.
Yeah.
At the same time, there are partners who are not comfortable having sex during menses.
Yes.
So when it comes to counting days, how effective is it? Yeah. So it's something, yes, it's in Catholic, there's that conversation. But again, family planning, it's a personal decision.
Yeah.
Because if I just want one kid or two children, who are you to tell me no?
Well, that's true, and that's your body, and those are your kids.
Exactly.
But you didn't mention withdrawal method. I know I'm speaking for so many men and women out here, but is it something you would actually recommend?
I would not recommend, because it is not effective.
Okay.
It is not effective.
Because it's highly dependent on...
Actually, it's highly dependent on the man.
Okay.
And at the same time, we have had those incidences whereby a lady gets pregnant.
Yeah.
So some of the sperm, because remember, for me to be fertilized, I just need a sperm.
Yeah.
So when the guy withdraws, how sure am I he withdrew everything?
In time.
Exactly.
And even in time.
Even that timing. And that's why I'm saying it is not effective.
Yeah.
You might do it as a one-off, but it's not going to be a daily thing, to be honest.
Let's talk about the e-pills, the emergency pill that women are popping. Kwanza siku hizi I think zimereduce. When there were clubs, my god, chemist asubuhi, by afternoon hakuna postino tu, hakuna hizo emergency pills. What are the health effects when it comes to those emergency pills?
Emergency pills are not actually they are not family planning methods.
Okay.
Because what is recommended is that it is a one-off dose, meaning that it is in case you missed and you're not on any family planning method, because it has got its own side effects. And one of the side effects is that continuous using of e-pill, it actually predisposes one from getting ectopic pregnancies.
Okay.
Yeah, what is commonly referred as mimba ya mshipa.
Yes.
And you know, with an ectopic pregnancy, definitely you have to be taken to theater for it to be removed and all that. So it is not a type of family planning. Another side effect is that it tends to cause a lot of irregular menses. So because remember the dosage of the hormone there, it's slightly high. So that's why we say it is a one-off thing. Actually, it is advised to just do it once in a year.
Once in a year?
Yes, once in a year. And that's why we don't understand why our women love it. Because to be honest, family planning is free in our healthcare sector.
Yes.
In government facilities, it is very free. It is extremely free. You just need to walk in, get the right information, get the right type of family planning, and you're good to go. So we are really, really discouraging e-pills because they are not forms of family planning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Ndeto, for that and every knowledge that you've spilled. I just want you to advise people, because at the end of the day, kuna wasee wengi sana hata ushago. Ukienda ushago unapata mtu amebeba mtoto hapa, mwingine ako kwa mgongo, and they don't believe. Mwingine hata ako kwa mimba. True. You know, like ako literally 3 kids, like boo, boo, boo. You know, and they don't believe hizi vitu. Kwanza ukimwambia family planning anashanga, unamwambia nini? What will you advise these people?
It's true. In our society, we are having that bad notion. And the reason why we are having that bad notion is because maybe someone used a type of family planning, it didn't go well with them, and they spread that rumor to their friends. Because remember, as women, we tend to talk a lot. We speak a lot about our experiences. So it is okay to practice family planning. It is okay to have family planning. It is not wrong. It is the right decision you're making in your life. Because remember, as much as we say, yes, kids come with their plates, remember they don't come with their diapers.
Absolutely. Hey, drops mic. Mi hata siongezei wase. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for watching all of it. Tumefika hadi hapa, tunashukuru sana, but tumefika tamati sadly. But guys, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Every Monday we give you new content that is informative, entertaining, and most importantly, very sijui kama unasoma. I hope you're writing down your notes, guys, but that's all we had for you today. Thank you so much, the Kaka Empire Studio, for this beautiful set, and you for watching all this. So until next time, guys, it's kwaheri from us, but kumbukeni kwamba lazima msubscribe, mlike, mshare, and if you have anything that you'd like to tell us, that there's a topic that you feel is very important to you, please comment hapa chini. Tutaitackle tena kwa mshindo. Lakini until next time, you guys, it's kwaheri.